Welcome. The purpose of this video is to tell you the story of how the sacred name was once pronounced and spelled. Scripture says, at the mouth of two witnesses, or at the mouth of three witnesses, shall the matter be established. This story will call upon three ancient witnesses, Egyptian, Hebrew, and Greek. Each preserve a piece of the answer. Together, they recover a name that history nearly erased. Once upon a time, around 1380 BC, a man named Amenhotep III built a temple. On one of its pillars, Egyptian scribes carved an inscription in hieroglyphics. These hieroglyphs represent consonants only, not vowels. And that means that what we have here is the consonantal skeleton of the divine name. First, we'll understand that skeleton. Then we'll explore the vowels that were inherent in the name, but not written at the time. The Egyptian witness, YHW. On Amenhotep's pillar, we find three glyphs, two reeds, a wick with flames, and a quail chick. These three pictures represent three consonantal sounds in Egyptian, and together they form the earliest known form of the divine name. The two reeds represent the Y sound, just like Yod in Hebrew or Y in English. The wick with flames represents the hard guttural H, a sound that does not exist in English. It is pronounced like the Hebrew chet, as in Hanukkah. This is important because Egyptians heard a guttural H, not a soft hey. That means the original name of the Most High may have used het, not hey. The quail chick. This glyph is more complex. Egyptologists explain that the chick glyph does not guarantee a spoken W sound. When Egyptians wrote foreign names, the chick glyph often served as a placeholder for a semi-vowel, W or Y, a vowel glide, O or U, or a vowel-like transition they heard but could not write. In fact, the chick glyph frequently appears where foreign languages have O or U. I believe the vowel glide is exactly what's happening here. Try saying O. Your mouth naturally glides into the shape used for pronouncing the W. O, O. You can even hear a tiny W at the end of the vowel. This is the vowel glide, the shape and sound that follows the vowel. Egyptians couldn't write vowels, so they wrote the glide that they heard. That's why they use the chick glyph. But that's just one witness. Let's bring in more. The Hebrew witness. In the ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible, on page 42, it explains that Wa and Yod are the two most common vowel letters in Hebrew. When Yod appears at the beginning of a syllable, it uses the consonantal Y sound. When Yod appears at the end, when Wa appears at the end of a syllable, it often carries the O or U vowel sound. So if the divine name is truly three letters, as the Egyptian inscription suggests, then the Y at the beginning is consonantal, and the W at the end is vowel-like, O or U. That's witness number 2. Now, the Greek witness. In the 1st century BCE, there is a copy of Leviticus found in the Judean desert near Qumran. And this copy is dated back to the 1st century BCE. And the divine name is written as I-A-O. This is the earliest known Greek biblical manuscript that writes the name phonetically instead of replacing it with Kyrios. This witness is extremely important because Greek was the first alphabet to write vowels explicitly. So now we don't have to guess. In Greek, iota is pronounced E. Alpha is pronounced A. And Omicron is pronounced O. So it comes out as Iao, Iao. The Greeks wrote what they heard, emphasizing vowels rather than consonants. And that's how we know that the Egyptian W corresponds to the Greek O. Mystery solved. Why didn't the Greeks record the hard H? Simple. Greeks did not have the guttural H sound. So Greek scribes wrote Yao without the hard H, Yaho. English also lacks this sound, which is why we say Yao instead of Yaho. But we can learn to pronounce the hard H. There's a deeper implication. If the Egyptian witness, which is closer to Yod Het Wa rather than Yod He Wa, is correct, then we may have misspelled the Most High's name. So the Yod represents a closed hand. The Het or Het represents a tent wall, and the Wa represents a tent peg. This paints a picture of the God of the nomads, the God of the tent dwellers, the God of the wilderness, the God of the Feast of Tabernacles. Not behold hand, behold nail. This is a God who dwells with his people. So how do we say the divine name? You must put all three witnesses together. The Egyptian, YHW, the Greek, IAO, and the Hebrew vowel clues, the Y as the consonant and the W as the O. The result is Iah-O, Iah-O, a name that sounds like Yah-O, or in languages without gutturals, Yah-O. Zephaniah 3:9 says, I will give them a pure language, and they will all call on my name with one voice. And that is exactly what the Most High, the Elohim of Abraham, has done.